Hello guys, this is Naruto-kun and we are back with our new fanfic, which is What If Naruto Have Multiple Konoichi Spouse Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic, then please press the like button and please subscribe to the channel. It motivates me to upload more fanfic like these for you all. Now let's start the fanfiction. Uzukage-sama, are you sure it's wise to go to Kiri, and leave the village undefended? A member of the combat team Naruto was taking to Kiri asked. It'll be fine. Besides, Ero Sennin will be the temporary Uzukage, and Ba-chan will be staying too. I've also got word that the last Uchiha of the Leaf ran away from it again. Quote, the Uchiha is unstable, Uzukage-sama. Another person questioned. More like driven for power. His brother slaughtered his whole clan in one night, then used a Mangekyo Sharingan technique called Tsukuyomi to make him experience his clan's massacre for a full 72 hours, while it was only 3 seconds in reality. His brother told him to hate him, and that's exactly what he did. He now desires the power to kill his brother more than anything else, even his village. Naruto told his former best friend's story. I see, the person replied. Hot springs. Hey Ero Sennin, wanna come to Kiri? The Uzukage asked in his regular tone he used when talking to the two Sannin. I thought you were making me temporary Uzukage. The Toad Sage spoke. He thought Naruto would go to Kiri alone and not bring along the supposed dead man, or any of the Sannin, not to draw attention. I would, but I thought it would be great to bring someone I know well and don't know from reading papers along. Naruto said. He could bring either of the Sannin if he used a genjutsu to mask notable traits, since there weren't any dojutsu users in Kiri. Or he could use the appearance-changing seal. I don't wanna come. I have to finish my book. Jiraiya whined. Fine, I'll ask Ba-chan and Sensei next. Naruto grumbled and left. The casino. Hey Ba-chan, wanna go to Kiri? Naruto asked. Kiri. You wanna take me to a place in the middle of a huge civil war? And I'm a Sannin, that'll give nations hints to who the Uzukage is. Especially Konoha, because they know I fled with the Kyuubi brat. Tsunade said. Don't be silly Ba-chan, you can wear a mask and use some kind of genjutsu to mask your chest and your diamond mark. Naruto gave the solution, hoping she would come. Mask. Brat, only you and Kakashi like those stuffy things. Tsunade growled. I'm not talking about my mask, I'm talking about a metal mask. Naruto explained. Those are even worse. The female Sannin gave a negative response. HRMPH, then just use the appearance-changing seal to change your face. Naruto groaned. I'll think about it, the gambler said, making Naruto leave once again. Tsunade lost another round of poker, making her angrier and more frustrated. On the roof of a tower. Naruto, don't you have anyone else to go with you? Kazuki frowned on his student. He really didn't feel like going anywhere anytime soon, since he was working on a complicated invention that would require his time and attention. Ero Sennin said no, Ba-chan said maybe, and all my friends in the village are out on missions. Naruto told his sensei. I don't want to go either, so that's 2 refusals and 1 maybe, so why don't you ask the maybe? Kazuki advised his student. He didn't really like denying requests, he liked accepting them and making himself feel good that he was helping people, but to Hai, the invention he was making was more important than going to Kiri, besides Naruto was there. Okay. Naruto left his sensei, slightly unhappy. At the time of departure to the Mist Village, Tsunade ended up refusing. Naruto just decided to leave the 3 alone. He was about to leave when a spiky white-haired man came running to him. Uzukage-sama, I'm running out of ideas for you know what, so I'm joining you to get more ideas. Jiraiya shouted, puffing behind the 50 men Naruto brought to aid Kiri. Naruto looked disgusted, and was a bit mad. Alright, put on your mask and hurry up. The Uzukage groaned. All 50 of the men wondered what these ideas were, and wondered what the man said to make the Uzukage look so disgusted. Naruto was in a black cloak with the symbol of the whirlpool on his back. It was quite similar to his father's except instead of Yondaime Hokage written on the back, Godaime Uzukage was written on the back, because that was exactly what he was. His mother was supposed to be the fifth, but the whirlpool was destroyed before that happened. His grandfather was the fourth. He honored all the Uzukages, and he had the history of Uzushiogakure written on many boards which were placed all around town. He wore the Uzukage hat, which looked like a normal cage hat, except the fact that it had the kanji, whirlpool, on it, and was colored light blue. On his back was a sword called the Sword of Tempest. It had the symbol of the Uzumaki forged onto it. It was at least 4 feet, if not a tiny bit longer. It was a sword of amazing powers, which made Naruto feel even more invincible than he already was. Jiraiya openly stated that he could beat all 3 Sannin himself. The small army began marching towards the mist village very cautiously. They had to watch whether any spy was waiting to report to their commanding officers that the Uzukage took a small division and started to head towards the direction of the mist. Orochimaru's base. Things are interesting, Kabuto. The leaf will get crushed by the rock and the cloud now, since they don't have many forces left. They will be crushed soon either way, unless they don't get help. The sand won't offer many soldiers, and the only reason they want to provide help is because I killed their precious 4th Kazekage and used them to crush the leaf. They seem to still hold such a grudge, hissed a certain snake. Orochimaru-sama. They could get help from the whirlpool, seeing that they were long-standing allies with each other. Kabuto reminded his master. Kabuto, I find that quite unlikely, because that was back in the era of the foolish Shodai Hokage's reign, with the will of stupidity. This new leader, Danzo, has already tried to spy on this Uzukage. Danzo got caught, and this is likely to make the relations much worse. This Uzukage is no fool like Sarutobi. He knows that if he makes an alliance or something close to that, he will suffer for it, and Danzo will steal the village's secrets. Orochimaru told his assistant. What do we do now, Orochimaru-sama? Kabuto asked. I have heard that Sasuke-kun has left the village again. Kukuku, you know what to do. Orochimaru grinned evilly. I see. It will be done immediately, Orochimaru-sama. Kabuto obeyed and knew what his master had been planning. Soon the Sharingan will be mine. The snake declared. The great forest of Hinokuni 8 p.m. Sasuke simply tore at his head looking for power. He began to think about Orochimaru. The snake could give him a bit of power, but not nearly enough to defeat Itachi. He was half thankful that Naruto left, because as soon as Sasuke realized his so-called best friend was gone forever, his eyes developed into the Mangekyo, but through excessive use of it he started to lose eyesight. His sight was deteriorating. He had only one purpose in his life, to kill Itachi, so he didn't care for his eyesight much. After searching a couple of gambling casinos he couldn't find the slug Sannin. After searching a couple of hot springs he couldn't find the toad sage. He wondered if he ever would find them, and he suddenly remembered that if he found them, he'd likely find the Dobi. He'd also be blamed for making him banished. So he gave up chances of finding the Sannin. He also ran away from Konoha with no legitimate reason and would likely become missing nin in their bingo books. He could always go to a different village. Since Konoha was being crushed he could join Uzu, Kumo, Iwa, Suna, or even Kiri. He arrogantly thought that he would be let in immediately and treated like royalty, because he was the last survivor of the Uchiha. He decided to think about it. Kiri is in the middle of a civil war and I'm not giving anything for those who aren't worthy of Uchiha blood. Kumo, I don't know, the Raikage would be quite happy with my blood, but I'm not sure he's worthy. The bastard Tsuchikage is not worthy of Uchiha blood at all, and I won't go to a place commanded by a coward. Suna has a weak cage, and I'll never go back to Konoha. Sasuke planned. He refused to go to Uzushiogakure, because no one had a clue about it. He decided to wander and find someone stronger than himself and make him train him. Konohagakure, one day after Sasuke's second runaway. Hokage-sama, Uchiha Sasuke has left the village and betrayed us. Kakashi, who was back from an A-rank assassination mission, told Danzo. I will send a retrieval team, tell them their orders are to bring Uchiha Sasuke alive. I am sending Aburame Shino, Hyuga Neji, Nara Shikamaru and Hyuga Hinata. Danzo said. Why would you send Hyuga Hinata? She is the clan head. Kakashi asked. Because I believe she is the strongest Hyuga in Konoha, and to counter the Sharingan we need the Byakugan. Danzo stated. Send me Danzo-sama, I must cleanse my sins. Kakashi pleaded. He wanted a chance to lecture Sasuke on how far he had fallen on his quest for power. No, Kakashi, I believe you are needed elsewhere. Here's an S-rank mission, you will leave the day after tomorrow. Danzo said emotionlessly. About the Uchiha, Hokage-sama, permission to speak my mind. Kakashi asked. Go ahead, Hatake. Danzo told Kakashi. I wonder why you have not ordered him to be executed. The Sharingan is important, but is it so important that we must send shinobi off to their deaths? I believe Sasuke is as strong if not stronger than me. And with the Mangekyo Sharingan I believe he could defeat all of the people you have sent for. He does not consider them friends and will most likely kill them if they are defeated so they aren't thorns in his side later. And as you said, Hinata is the strongest Hyuga, so we could lose her as well. Kakashi spoke. Danzo did not like what he was hearing. If Kakashi spoke with worry towards the Hyuga head, he had found out his plan. As soon as Danzo heard that Sasuke left, he hoped to send the clan head to her death so he could regain support from the Hyuga clan, by bribing the new clan head and turning him into a corrupt leader. The Sasuke retrieval was considered an S-rank mission. Even though Sasuke was alone, he had the powers of Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi and Susanoo, and those alone could make the whole retrieval team killed. Shino was somewhat angry to retrieve someone who betrayed Konoha not once, but twice. Neji, Hinata and Shikamaru were furious that he betrayed Konoha twice and was still asked to be retrieved, just because of his precious Sharingan eyes. Neji and Shikamaru especially, because they were on his last retrieval mission and risked their lives. Neji had almost died the last time they went to retrieve Sasuke. But they were ninja and ninja had to follow their Hokage. Hinata was extremely angry, because it was Sasuke's fault Naruto had to leave the village and she never got her chance to confess. The arrogant Uchiha caused too much trouble, but this was one step too far. Also, she thought that having the Sharingan, and being the last Uchiha was not a valid excuse to have a retrieval team sent after you. Kumogakure no Sato. The last Uchiha has been detected outside the village, sir. Reports say that he was wearing a headband with a slash on the Konohagakure sign. A Kumogakure ninja said to his Raikage. I see. Well, I actually have no interest in the Uchiha. He's a worthless, unloyal whelp, who can't stay loyal and needs power to kill his brother at all times. If he can't stay loyal, even the Mangekyo is no use. I can't believe Konoha is so easy to infiltrate these days. A said. Ship. Sir. At full speed it will take us another 5 hours to reach Mizu no Kuni. The captain of the ship informed the Uzukage. I see. I regret to inform you that all of you are just protection, to see if the leader of the rebellion tries anything, also to not make myself look like a complete fool. The leader would think I'm crazy if I told her I could wipe out entire armies on my own. However, you will aid the leader however she wants. The Uzukage told his group of 50 men. They all just nodded, although most of them were disappointed they wouldn't be fighting with the Uzukage. 5 hours later. Sir, we have arrived at Kiri. The captain said. We will now move to the headquarters of the rebel troops. They will be expecting us, as I have informed them of our arrival. We are not far, move out. The Kage ordered. So kid, this is the next step of your plan. Jiraiya told him. That's right, closer to peace. The Uzukage looked at the sky. I wonder, kid, can you really bring peace? You have told me that I'd know your plan when the time comes. This sudden move is definitely your first step. There are only two ways to make a lasting peace. The peace of fear, or conquering all nations. I'm quite sure you and the Kyuubi would be enough to bring the peace of fear, so how are you gonna conquer all the nations? Let's see. Kiri Rebel Headquarters. Mei-sama, a small force of 50 soldiers bearing the headband of Uzushiogakure is approaching. A rebel informed. I didn't think they would actually come. The Uzukage assured me enough to shake the bloodline haters and ninja loyal to the bastard Yagura. 50 ninja is nowhere near enough to make a difference. I see, we will meet them with 50 of our own ninja. The leader of the rebellion force Terumi May commanded. Are you sure we should bring that many? They have nothing to gain by attacking us. The same rebel asked. Nothing except the whole chest we use for funding the army and all our bases in Kiri. May said. The rebel suddenly saw how stupid his question was and went to do his duty. Kami bless you, if you are here to help us, Kami curse you, if you are here to destroy us. However, I don't think you would be out in the open if you plan to destroy us with 50 ninja. A huge field near rebel headquarters 3 p.m. The two leaders came face to face, one blonde and one with auburn-colored hair. They marched towards each other. The blonde wore a mask and hid most of his hair except his chin-length bangs. He took his hat off to reveal almost golden spiky hair, much like his dad. Most of his features on his face were from his mom though. The side from Uzushiogakure wore headbands with a swirl engraved on it, while the rebels from Kurigakure wore headbands with 4 slits on it, 2 on each side. Mei-sama, I have come to aid you in your rebellion against the Yondaime Mizukage Yagura. The Uzukage said in a formal tone. Uzukage-sama, I mean no disrespect, but what is this? You told me you would be bringing enough soldiers to defeat the Mizukage, not 50, a tiny amount that is unlikely to survive. Mei Terumi said in a formal tone similar to the Uzukage's. Mei-sama, I'm quite confident this is all I need to bring Yagura to your mercy. The Uzukage replied. Are you sure? I do not have faith in 50 soldiers to bring down the force Yagura has, which is at least 12,000. Mei had a slight frown on her face. Let's make a bet. The Uzukage smirked slightly. A bet? Mei looked confused. If I can bring down the next army of soldiers Yagura sends single-handedly, then you have to formally apologize for doubting me. If I can't, then I'll give you a full 50 million ryo. The Uzukage lost his formal tone in that sentence. I accept. You said that you would do this all free of charge, but why? What do you have to gain? Mei questioned suspiciously. Simple. Friendship in this country. I know that if I ask Yagura for an alliance, he would never accept, unless I gave him all of the secrets of my village, that is currently unaffordable, therefore I would never gain any kind of friendship in this country unless a new Mizukage was chosen. I hope that answers all your questions. I suppose we will stay here for a month and then leave. The Uzukage explained, and then moved towards the base. Orders, Mei-sama, a rebel asked. Show them to their rooms and keep them under heavy surveillance so they don't try anything. The leader ordered. All this time Jiraiya was using a genjutsu that made it look like he wasn't doing anything, when he was actually writing ideas. Not that the Uzukage was oblivious though. The Uzukage went behind Jiraiya and one word came out of his mouth. Punishment. One word also came out of the Toad Sage's mouth. Mercy. Raiden. Senin Garashi, lightning release. 1,000 years of death, the Uzukage used 2 fingers that were absolutely straight and charged up with lightning chakra and then he stabbed them into Jiraiya's rectum. The porn writer automatically flew into the air holding his electrocuted butt and screaming out loud. A lot of people were laughing, while some wondered what it was about. The Uzukage picked Jiraiya's notes up. He looked at them. A woman with auburn hair, Beautiful eyes and blood-red lips. Who is leader of a rebellion makes a bet with another leader. The bet is if she wins she gets a lot of funds for her rebellion. If he wins, Naruto stopped right there and refused to read any longer. He ripped it up and stepped on it. Stupid pervert. I'll tell Ba-chan everything that happened today and he'll get a proper beating, not a super powerful spoke. On a completely different note, I wonder how my friends in Konoha are doing. The outskirts of the great gates of Konoha 4 p.m. Shikamaru-san, this is nostalgic. Neji said to the Nara. So, troublesome, a repeat, except we have to fight the Mangekyo this time and there's absolutely no way we can allow him to use any of the techniques, so I have a plan. You too, he pointed to the Byakugan users. We'll close the chakra points leading to his eyes while I'm using the Kajimane to hold him. Shino will be the distraction. He'll use his bugs to annoy Sasuke and divert his attention so I can do a Kajimane on Sasuke. Shikamaru finished explaining his plan. Shikamaru-san, you have plenty of holes in that plan, so I suggest we use smoke bombs or the Kurigakure no Jutsu to cover the Sharingan, while you use your Kajimane to get him. Neji told Shikamaru. Unfortunately, we can't do that as it gives Sasuke the opportunity to simply shunshin out of the smoke. Shikamaru replied. All four of us can easily take Sasuke down when he doesn't have the Sharingan, and if you close all Sasuke's chakra points then he can't shunshin, and with taijutsu alone he is no match for us. Shikamaru continued. That is logical. Shino simply said in affirmative. Hinata said nothing and neither did Neji. Let's go. The faster this is over the less troublesome it'll be. Shikamaru said. All the others on his team nodded. 6:32 p.m. Mizu no Kuni, Rebel Base, Sunset. Mai-sama, an army of about 400 shinobi in 4 100-person divisions are approaching. They are all ninja loyal to the current Mizukage. The rebel informed. Get 200 shinobi down there and fast. Do everything you can to halt their advance. Mai commanded. What she didn't notice was a certain blonde-haired shinobi on a hill overlooking the huge field in front. Jiraiya approached her. He knew that Naruto would probably fry him if he tried anything perverted alone with the Mizukage and was quite sure that she would boil him. Terumi-san, call your soldiers back, the Uzukage will handle this. Jiraiya said. No, he can't handle this on his own. The only shinobi that were ever capable of going against such an army in history were Senju Hashirama the Shodai Hokage, the Sandaime Raikage, the Yondaime Hokage and the Red Death, and Rakudo Sennin. Mai answered in negative. What makes you think he isn't better or as great as one of them? Jiraiya smiled. Mai just looked at the pervert with pure confusion. Out on the battlefield, the rebels will fall this time. The leader of the army declared, raising his lance. The rebels will fall. The rebels will fall. The rebels will fall. His army chanted. They noticed a blue-eyed blonde-haired ninja with the whirlpool headband jump off the hill and face them. The whole army howled with laughter. One shinobi from the whirlpool against 400 from Kiri. Get out of here, kid. You're a goner. The leader said. The Uzukage replied by raising an open palm, making clouds circle his open palm from the sky. The Uzukage closed his eyes for 5 seconds. White and gray markings appeared around his eyes and his iris turned gray. His pupil slit just a little bit. All these markings signified him entering Sage mode. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Technique. 5 clones of the Whirlpool Cage appeared. All of them raised an open palm to the sky. What the F*** is he doing? A drunk man said. Maybe. Performing a jutsu. A smarter guy suggested. Hurry up and stop him. The leader shouted out. A couple of men ran, but got blasted back by the raw power the Uzukage emanated. They also lost their will to fight back and ran away. I don't want to show my abilities to these Kiri guys, so the best way to do that is Ninpo. Kurigakure no Jutsu, ninja art, hidden mist technique. The whole area was covered in mist. No one could see anything in it. You wanna beat us with our own jutsu? Dream on kid, the size might be good, but I'm an expert with this jutsu, there's no way you can beat me with it. A crazy ninja yelled. Arrogant prick like Sasuke Tem. Naruto thought as he took his sword out with the hand that wasn't in raised in an open palm. Tenkai, heaven's lightning, the open palm was brought to the Uzukage's waist. A crackling sound was heard as the clouds circling his palm grew black and lightning fell from them. A large single bolt of lightning annihilated 1/4 of the total population of the army. From then, everything in the army descended into chaos, everyone was firing jutsu everywhere, it didn't matter if they hit someone or anything, they just wanted to walk away alive. Naruto was rather compassionate, and didn't want to kill them all, but he knew if he wanted to show the Mizukage he could single-handedly wipe an army out, he couldn't leave a single alive. A couple of jutsus flew at the Uzukage, but his sword of the whirlpool absorbed all of them. It absorbed all jutsus that he had an affinity for. This ability wasn't extremely useful to the previous users, as they usually had water and wind affinities. Some of them rarely had earth, but that was it. However, the Uzukage had 3 affinities, wind was his first, lightning was his second and water was his third. Naruto simply walked into the mist with a single kunai and multiplied into 600 upon entering the mist multiple shadow clone technique without any hand seals, and simply slaughtered the rest of the 258 that remained. He brutally destroyed them with a kunai, refusing to stain his blade put it back into the hilt. That's insane. He can summon lightning from the sky. Natural lightning. The leader of the rebellion yelled, watching from the glass window. I told you so, looks like you'll have to formally apologize to him. Jiraiya grinned. When the mist cleared, the Uzukage was the only one standing, panting heavily. The army of 200 mist shinobi arrived just then and started when the mist cleared, the Uzukage was the only one standing, panting heavily. The army of 200 mist shinobi arrived just then and started yelling victoriously. Outskirts of Odo, the Valley of the End 8 p.m. Dobi, things were actually more interesting when you were here. Sasuke glanced at the small crater that Naruto made in the cliff with Uchiha Madara holding 2 fingers up on it, when he used the Rasengan. I don't think you're actually alive right now or you'd be somewhere in Hai no Kuni trying to see your dumbass friends. You were an idealist like the stupid old Kami no Shinobi. But understand that I do need power to kill my brother and you stood in the way, so I beat you down until you started using the red chakra like a cheating scum. Sasuke frowned as the memory wasn't pleasant. At least I did gain power, but I'm not sure that I'm on par with Itachi yet. Sasuke continued to talk to himself, when suddenly a smoke bomb was hurled in the air. Uchiha Sasuke, Orochimaru-sama would like you to surrender. He can offer you power if you come with us. A voice told Sasuke. Really, Kabuto? Well, tell Orochimaru that I don't need his help at all. He's nothing more than a pathetic weakling unworthy of Uchiha blood. I can't believe you work for a sick pedophilic snake like him. Sasuke laughed maniacally. The smoke cleared, revealing Kabuto and Gurren. How dare you insult Orochimaru-sama? Gurren bursted out. Sasuke simply changed from his normal Sharingan to his Mangekyo Sharingan. Tsukuyomi, god of moon. Gurren found herself in front of Sasuke. For the next 72 hours I can do whatever I want to you, I control time and space here. Time passes how fast I wish it to, Sasuke said in an Itachi-like tone. You will be shown what Orochimaru does on a daily basis. Sasuke smirked, making Gurren see all of Orochimaru's pedophilic experiments and went into detail. No, you're lying, Orochimaru does not do these experiments. Gurren cried out. For the next 45 hours Gurren was tortured with mental pain until she gave in, then she was tortured physically, seeing at least 30 Sasukes with spears in their hand, sipping her apart, then she found herself healed, and had to endure that again. Every time was 1 second, so she had to sit through 45 hours of watching Orochimaru experiment. mutilate and torture humans of all sizes, and then she had to endure being ripped apart 97,200 times. Naturally, she went into a coma, as she mentally couldn't take it. Sasuke knew about the pedophile's experiments, because he was considered a highly important elite jonin of Konoha and a clan head, so he was let on a lot of the village's secrets. The only thing that even the Hokage didn't know about was the Yondaime's heir, because Tsunade took it so the old war hawk wouldn't know. Damn it, one Tsukuyomi and I probably will also go. Kabuto muttered worriedly. Oh no, Kabuto, I plan to have you burn until not a bit of you is left. Sasuke grinned maniacally. Amaterasu, god of sun, Kabuto suddenly began burning to death, although his regeneration ability slowed it down. Sasuke's right eye began to bleed out of control. Doden. Mogurgake no Jutsu, Earth Release. Hiding like a mole technique, Kabuto managed to escape from being completely burned by shedding his skin underground. Damn it! Skin shedding. The Uchiha scowled. He was steadily losing vision and saw mostly a blur and needed glasses to see properly. Naturally, he refused, so Danzo had to make him wear contact lenses, but the Hokage feared that if he continued using such techniques, he would lose his eyesight altogether, and the only people with Mangekyo Sharingans were Danzo, Shisui's eye, Sasuke, full set, and Itachi, full set in the other eye of Shisui, and Kakashi, Obito's right eye. For this reason Sasuke would always be sent to kill Itachi, as Danzo knew about the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Most of the ninja who knew Naruto and viewed him in a good light, hated Danzo. The academy instructors were rather useless, and Iruka was fired as an academy instructor and put into active shinobi duty, because Iruka held the will of fire strongly, and he refused to let people lose all their emotions. For this reason, until Konohamaru graduated, Iruka was still teaching. When the fresh batch of genin arrived that year retaining all their emotions, Danzo was absolutely furious and fired Iruka. Danzo became the Hokage 1 year after Naruto's banishment through the use of Shisui's eye. It meant the W pearl to the Hokage. The only things he had to fear were the destruction of Konoha and Shisui's eye. He knew if Shisui's eye was discovered, Sasuke would be screaming for his blood, and the older council members, who knew Shisui, would suspect him of using his ocular powers and remove him from the office. The Uchiha went on his way, unaware of the retrieval team coming his way. Kurigakure, Mizukage's office. That force should have wiped out the rebel base, or at least hurt it bad, so I can send in another force to wipe them out. The Jinchuriki of the Sanbi, and the Yondaime Mizukage Yagura spoke to himself. I have received urgent note from one of our camps near the rebel base, Mizukage-sama. The shinobi said. Give it to me. The Mizukage said, expecting it to be victory. He opened the letter and looked at it in horror. Mizukage-sama, it appears that Uzushiogakure is helping the rebels, likely to form some kind of alliance afterwards. The army of 400 trained shinobi failed to make a dent on the rebel base, as the Uzukage took them all out single-handedly. It appears that not a single shinobi returned. As you are aware, the base is only a few hours away from the village. I only know this as if the army was alive they would be back by now. So I suspect that they are all dead or captured. Urata of the Mist, 12 a.m. The Mizukage began writing a letter furiously. Uzukage-sama, you have attacked my people, and that alone can be a declaration of war. And my reports say that you are siding with the rebels. That means that you are against me, unless you have a valid reason to do so. This is an official declaration of war. Mizukage of Kurigakure. Yagura, send this to the fastest possible bird. The Mizukage commanded. Understood, sir. The man left to do his duty. The Mizukage brought the bingo book out and looked at 2 pages of it. Terumi Mei. Real name. Terumi Mei. Abilities. Cage level. Bloodlines. Dual bloodline, Fudan and Yoden. Highly skilled in using both elements and has a high affinity for water, earth and fire. Knowledge of skills. All that has been seen of her abilities is mostly Kekkei Genkai, but with the skill she uses the jutsu, it is believed that she is highly skilled in ninjutsu. Also her good chakra control may suggest genjutsu. Taijutsu is unknown, other proficiencies are unknown. Status. Formerly an elite Jonin of the Mist, currently S-rank criminal with kill on-sight orders. Physical identification. Green eyes, auburn hair tied in a herringbone, usually seen with blue outfit. Chakra levels. Unknown, formerly decent. Chakra control. Excellent. Family. Kazan clan, name was changed into Terumi to protect against bloodline haters, as well as the enemies the clan made. Rank. S. Uzukage of Uzushiogakure. Real name. Unknown. Abilities. Unknown, but suspected to be above cage level. Bloodlines. Unknown, but rumors state that he can easily heal most damage done to his body. This is believed to be speculation. Knowledge of skills. Unknown, the Raikage is the only one who may know about his skills. Status. Currently Uzukage of Uzushiogakure, formerly unknown. Physical identification. Blue eyes and blonde hair. Chakra levels. Most likely massive if rumors are true, but unknown. Chakra control. Unknown. Family. Unknown. Bounty. None, all bounties are eliminated when someone reaches cage status. Rank. SS, due to his feat of wiping out the Raikage's army single-handedly. The Mizukage banged his hand on his desk. The bingo book was basically rubbing it in his face that he has no chance against his foe, the Uzukage. I shouldn't send an army against them, because they seem to be powerful, if they're confident enough to send their own cage over to my country. What do I do? He started to think of a plan. With the retrieval team. My Kikaichu bugs have spotted him, as they can travel much faster than us. He is near Oto, in the Valley of the End. Shino informed his team. We are not far, Shino-kun. Hinata stated. Let's end this quickly. This repetition with the troublesome Uchiha is too troublesome to handle. Shikamaru said lazily. I have spotted him. He is 20 kilometers to the east. He appears to be sitting on some kind of rock, perhaps reflecting back on his and Naruto-kun's fight. Hinata said. Let us hope he does not try to join Orochimaru a second time. Neji spoke up. Remember the troublesome plan Shino distracts him, I bind him, and you two shut off his chakra system and knock him out, then we bring him back to Konoha. Shikamaru reminded. The four continued until Shikamaru's foot stepped on the ground and it made a large creaking noise that could be heard from a long distance, at least 1 kilometer. They were about 1 kilometer from where Sasuke was, so that meant trouble. A rock in the Valley of the End. Shit. Someone's here. I hope it's someone pathetic, that I don't need the Mangekyo Sharingan against. Sasuke thought. Sasuke drew out his sword and stood there waiting. With Shino, Hinata, Neji, and Shikamaru. Damn it. Now that Sasuke knows we're here, we need a different plan, God how troublesome. Maybe I should become a farmer after this. Shikamaru whined. I have an idea, Shikamaru-san. We can still use the same plan, except Sasuke will attack us, and so we need to be on our guard. Shino suggested. I suppose we have no time to think of a plan, so let's just go along. Plans have a tendency to fail when up against the Uchiha. Neji said. The retrieval team suddenly found themselves confronted by a tall raven-haired man that looked like he had a duck ass on his head. You four are the pathetic retrieval team that worthless rat Danzo sent to get me. Sasuke growled. Uchiha-san, if you surrender now then we will not harm you. Shino took the normal approach. No, I will not surrender. The Uchiha drew his sword. Kujimane no Jutsu, shadow possession technique, 8 large tentacle shadows made their way towards Sasuke's shadow. All Sasuke did was a quick movement to the side and a swipe forcing Shikamaru to jump up in the air, losing temporary control over his shadow possession. Hinata proceeded to close all his chakra points with the Jukin, but Sasuke noticed this and moved to kick her eyes so she would be blinded. Sweden. Mizoripa water release. Violent water wave. Hinata's water jutsu pushed Sasuke to the ground, making him lose balance. I suppose I better finish this quickly. Sasuke muttered as he began running through hand seals for his next jutsu. Kaden. Ruka no Jutsu, fire release. Dragon flame jutsu. Sasuke pointed his head up and launched a burning flame up in the air to make the temperature of the air above them rise. Damn it, Kirin. Neji yelled and quickly jumped at him with the intent to close most of his chakra points. Haijutsu. Mushitatsumaki, secret technique. Insect tornado. Shino's insects made a huge tornado, heading straight for Sasuke. Shino-kun, we aren't supposed to kill Uchiha Sasuke. Hinata said. It is logical that we don't kill him, however we must take the illogical decision if we wish to survive. Shino stated. Your insect tornado was worthless, so die. The Uchiha yelled. Susanoo, a large chakra entity, began to form around Sasuke, as both his Mangekyo eyes began bleeding. If this is what he uses, we have no choice. Shino said, making a few hand seals and vanishing from view. Crap, we don't have a choice, how troublesome. Shikamaru quickly shunshined, along with Hinata and Neji. Hokage's office 3 hours later. You failed. You know how valuable an Uchiha is now. Danzo emotionlessly spoke. Uchiha-san used Susanoo. Our only choice was to escape. Shino said. I see. I expect your full report tomorrow. Danzo told the team. Battleground, Kusagakure. Nara Shikaku was currently in a tent, over at Kusagakure. He was thinking in his mind. We're all old now, yet we still have to fight these bloody wars. I guess I know how Sakumo feels now. Kazuki, Minato, Kushina, Sandaime, Nadaime, Shodai, would you not be disappointed that most of the village failed to carry the will of fire? Minato, would you stare at me with angry eyes and tell me I should have done more for you, son? I did figure out about it when he was 12, but I couldn't prevent his banishment. Hell, he might even be happier now wherever he is. The Akatsuki were looking for him, so there's a possibility he isn't even alive. Kushina, would you kill me, because I didn't find out he was your son earlier? So troublesome, I better go to sleep. Kakashi's tent. Hitaki Kakashi was looking at the stars. They annoyed him greatly, but he kept looking at them. One alignment looked like Minato. If you joined the stars it would look like he was happy. The other alignment next to Minato's looked like Kushina. If you joined the stars she would also be smiling. The last one looked like a young Naruto. The hands of his parents were hugging him. This odd alignment looked strange to Kakashi, but he ignored it. Minato-sensei, have I become an utter hypocrite? I abandoned Naruto completely and failed to teach him anything significant. If that is the case, then Obito would be the best of us. Even Rin had more faults than Obito. Huh, Obito, the dead last, was actually the best of us, not in skill, but in heart. I concentrated on Sasuke, who went rogue and betrayed the village, not once, but now the recent twice. Sakura is still a chunin who is still a fangirl after all these years. You were almost perfect, Minato-sensei, the only problems you had were in me. I am a sucker and a dumbass that's worse than a dead last. Kushina-san, you would be happy to know that Uzushiogakure has been rebuilt, and is now even better than Konoha. Kakashi, a voice was heard behind Kakashi. What is it? Kakashi snapped out of his thoughts. Is this about Naruto? The person, who was called Shiranui Genma, asked. No, Kakashi responded quickly. Kakashi, don't lie to me, I know you're brooding about how you failed Naruto. I will tell you this, let it go. Genma advised. I can't, I've been failing so many people. I've failed Obito, Rin, Sensei, Sasuke, Sakura, Naruto, and now we're failing in this war. Kakashi sorrowfully moaned. Kakashi, What we've done before is in the past, so keep it in the past. Genma consoled. I know, but I can't keep it all in, I'm a disgrace. Kakashi whined. Imagine your father, and what he would say if he saw you like this. Genma let those words slip, but immediately regretted it. My dad killed himself, because he couldn't bear the humiliation, so I think that because I haven't killed myself yet, he would call me quite strong. I have already failed the one who could have changed this war. He left 8 years ago, so in a way since I lost the one who could probably change this war in two Sanin. If I had just taught Naruto some useful stuff, or arrived earlier we wouldn't be here. So in a way, I have already done the same thing my father has, failed during a mission that could change everything. Except that I didn't save anyone. Kakashi angrily replied. Pull yourself together, since you don't have a jutsu to change the past you should think about the present. Genma replied to the outburst. HMPH, Kakashi grunted and went to sleep. I need to drink. Asuma and Kurenai's house. A small boy who was 3 years old looked at a picture. It was of a blond man with a hat that said Whirlpool, and he wore a mask covering all his facial features. This boy had red eyes and black hair. His red eyes had rings on them. His hair resembled his father's. This boy went to bed where his parents were sleeping and jumped right in. Unknown area in Konoha. Finished writing the letter. Uzukage-sama will be pleased that my undercover mission is going quite well. No one has suspected me at all. The voice said.